Okay, so I want to get into the head of a booker. Okay.
Yeah.
What are the conversations you have with other bookers when you're who we booking? Come on, give us some juice.
Well, so
I want to know
it's
how you
all
talk about us.
yeah. So I mean, well, so it's all contextual to so each market's pretty different.
Yeah.
So and and especially in the US, obviously each state is like a different country.
Yeah.
So you have to know your market.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was talking to another booker here, then and we'd be talking about like I've just been in a meeting now about EZU for next year and the year after. That's literally what I just finished before I came on with you.
Is that with MJ?
And we're chatting about anchor acts.
Okay.
Basically.
What's an anchor act?
So you book top down on a lineup. And that's how you curate. Well, not all bookers book like this. This is the thing. It's one of my pet peeves, really. But so you book top down in terms of anchor act, and that could either be for pull, which is like ticket value, or it can be for sound curation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to program the stage so that the sound works, not with the biggest act at the top playing last. That's my little pet peeve. But
it's actually my pet. It's actually my pet peeve as well. I'll be totally honest. There's some festivals. Club nights are a bit different, I think, because mostly it's your headlining, unless it's like a very big venue. But like, although Brooklyn Mirage is a club, I would class it more as a venue, like a hard ticket venue than a soft ticket club. I kind of wouldn't necessarily. I'd class it more as like a festival booking rather than a club booking. But there's a lot of festivals in and around the world that just doesn't make sense musically.
Oh yeah, and that. I mean, it's always you're doing a trade-off really, because when you're booking an event, you want people to come early, buy drinks, stay for the duration, and wait for that act to come on. And that's a business, financial,
of course,
weighted decision. I totally get that, but the experience of the fan should always be kind of one of the priorities, and that needs to have like music curated that builds and gives an experience and a journey, and that's how I curate, and that's what I'm passionate about. And it also just means that you're positioning the artists to give the best performance as well. It's nothing worse than a peak and trough of a night, and you have artists that are just thrown off completely, and just aren't feeling set up for success.
I always use this as an example. I played after Chris Lorenzo once at a show, and Chris is, as much as I love him, he plays so hard compared to what I would play, and you're just like, there's nowhere I can go. It's pointless. Like,
you're like, what have I got to like give?
I know this whole crowd is gonna leave because it's like I have to start from scratch, and I'm literally gonna start from scratch, and they're not gonna necessarily like it because I'm not going fucking hard. But it's really interesting how it must be hard though, because you're booking artists. Okay, say I'm going to call them headliners. You call them anchor acts. Okay, so you get your headliner, and then you get into the politics, right? So the headliner earns the most money to a majority of the time.
Yeah.
They sometimes get a say in the curation of the lineup, right? In certain situations,
that depends on the offer and the deal that you do with them. So if it's so for example, if I was booking like Amelie Lenz for a techno show and she was the headliner and it was Brooklyn Mirage, then we would do mutually agreeable support because it's a show around her and her sound.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. if I was booking City Fox and you've got Dixon as the headliner, generally there would be a trust there that I would curate
correctly
to the sound of the brand and correctly. Yeah. So that, I mean, there wouldn't be an issue anyway, but yeah, there's situations where the acts aren't. And then it's just more like the question you get back is what's the billing and what's the ROS from the agent, because they want to know where their act's going to be placed, what it's going to look like.
What did you say? The ROS? Did you say?
Yeah, I'm on a show.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So what slot have they got? Basically.
Yeah. And
TVC, A to Z, always.
I want to get into that in a bit, but I guess so. You get your headliners, and then you get the fillers behind, or sometimes you get how there's so many artists that sometimes fit on a lineup, but it must be so hard to find an artist that's actually free and that fits the sound that you want to get. How much of it is working with agents and going, oh, you know what, I didn't even think of this person, let's put them on, or is it like, I want this person and I'm going to go get this person?
So I work generally to the latter.
Yeah.
And to do that, you have to be organised and early.
Mm-hmm.
Our underground, like my area of like specialty, like underground house and techno, generally is more like last minute Lucy with bookings. With a venue like this,
you can't be.
I'm competing with. We've got an EDM booker and a live concerts booker. Concerts is like full tours that get organ. They've got like full touring teams, so you know it's not just one band, thank you band with like one DJ on. It's the whole situation. So you have to be super organised. So I mean, so I have very different conversations now with the venue that I book now compared to say when I was in the Halcyon, literally in the Halcyon days, because a 400 cap club is in a secondary market of San Francisco is never the anchor date for an artist to come and do a tour. Yeah. Whereas Brooklyn Mirage generally is the anchor date. Yeah. So I'm in a privileged position now for the most part where I can, if I'm early enough, then the agents will then build the tour out around the New York show. Yeah.
Is your favorite word anchor?
Basically, I wish this was one of those things where I've like had a mate say to me, how many times can you get the word anchor into the podcast? But it's genuinely not.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. Carry on.
You know, when people are like, see if you can put the word pineapple into the podcast. Yeah. Just think about sailors all day.
Sorry, I took you off track. So you're...
Yeah, I don't know what I was saying.
So you're in a privileged situation where you have Brooklyn Mirage as a anchor of people's tour and how people want to play the venue and want to be a part of the venue in comparison to a smaller club in a city that, especially now, doesn't really have the best house music scene.
100%. And with Halcyon, we launched that venue and opened it up. So I was going into a market that basically every single act, it was either a first time play ever in a city, or they had a relationship with another venue. So you're either stealing an act from another promoter or you're taking the risk on a new artist. So very, very different. Our smallest room here is 800 cap. Yeah. So it's double the size of Halcyon. I absolutely love it. It's fun curating lineups and it's fun negotiating.